I'm your host, Annie Bowles, and this is News du Jour. Hey everyone, happy election day. If you are here in the US, I hope everyone is going to take a little time out of their day to go and vote. I know I will be. Anywho, let's go ahead and jump into the news for today. First up, we are discussing in a kind of mini story, Israel's election. So as a quick story here at the top, I wanted to let you guys know that Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, has been reelected. He's been accused of corruption and manning a pretty dysfunctional government, but he will also be the longest serving Israeli leader of all time. And next up for today, I just wanted to let you guys know there is a hurricane watch going on. So a subtropical storm has formed named Nicole, and it is expected to become a hurricane over the Bahamas and head over towards Florida. Woof, I know. Yet another hurricane for Florida, right? We are looking again at high winds, heavy rainfall, flooding, and a storm surge. Hurricane watch is in effect for the Atlantic side of Florida. If you're in that area, definitely tune into your local coverage for more details and stay safe. And now that we have those two mini stories out of the way, I wanted to go ahead and hop into a longer story for the day. So the FBI has now issued a warning to New Jersey and really the country as a whole. For a variety of reasons, the FBI takes it slow when it comes to warning the public about impending danger. It causes panic and generally can do more harm than good. So when they do tell us about something potentially coming on, it should be taken very seriously. And that's exactly what happened in New Jersey, where the FBI is issuing a warning towards synagogues of danger due to credible information, quote unquote, received by the Bureau. Anti-Semitic rhetoric, as we all know, and threats have increased across the country since Kanye West came out with his own personal anti-Semitic beliefs. When someone famous like this comes out with this type of belief, it really emboldens true racism. And the FBI Newark chapter specifically has gotten information leading them to believe that there are very real threats to their community. They tweeted out, quote, "The FBI has received credible information of a broad threat to synagogues in New Jersey. We ask at this time that you take all security precautions to protect your community and facility. We will share more information as soon as we can. Stay alert. In case of emergency, call the police." End quote. Police officers in prominently Jewish areas of New Jersey are taking second shifts. The NYPD also announced that it has stepped up monitoring of Jewish venues and communities to ensure the safety of Jewish New Yorkers. They all say that they are willing to take up further action and use more resources if needed, but they're already putting in a ton of extra effort to protect the Jewish community in New Jersey and New York. Again, it is rare that the FBI announces something like this, but all houses of worship deserve to be safe. America was founded for religious freedom, and the Jewish people do not deserve to live in fear any longer. And yet, the sense of fear and danger has long been the norm and not the exception. But as Representative Josh Gothamer put it, quote, "The key is to stand up and fight it and not back down and make it very clear that we will not cower," end quote. Be sure to send some love to your Jewish friends, you guys. They just don't deserve this, and we need to make sure they know that they are loved and appreciated. So for our next story today, 2 major publishing houses attempted to merge, but it was blocked. What does this mean for the publishing industry as a whole? So you guys may or may not know, but the publishing industry has long been struggling. The pandemic did give it a little boost, but not really in a sustainable way. In order to keep going, 2 publishing rivals were actually looking to team up and form one larger company. Penguin Random House was looking to purchase Simon & Schuster. And if you guys aren't familiar with this industry, these are 2 big boys. But a judge blocked it. Why? Well, this would make this one company a little too powerful and create what's called a monosopony. Anyway, similar to a monopoly, the situation would be where one company controls too much of the supply and therefore violates antitrust laws. That said, Penguin Random House said that it would appeal this decision by the judge on Monday, but that will take time and require an extension of the agreement put in place between the 2 publishing powerhouses. So far, there has been a drop of 37 million units sold in 2022 compared to 2021. But on the upside, we have still sold more this year than prior to the pandemic. Simon & Schuster actually is leading the pack too, with a lot of their success coming from TikTok of all places, which has revived interest in several older titles. And this is making them more and more appealing to purchase by Penguin. Stay tuned. And for our next story today, Julie of Julie and Julia passes away. Julie Powell, the famed food blogger of the 2009 Nora Ephron film Julie and Julia, has passed away at the age of 49. Her husband reported that she died of cardiac arrest on October 26th, potentially complicated by COVID-19. Played by Amy Adams in the film, Julie Powell dove into cooking through the lens of the famous Julia Child. In a sort of meta experience, one learned about one inexperienced chef through the lens of another. Her character was relatable and amusing. She attempted recipes that would intimidate almost anyone and took us along for the adventure. In her real-life blog, though, she shared and maybe overshared about her sex life, carving up pigs' heads, and maggots in the drain board. While some found this refreshing and funny, once she wrote a book entitled Cleaving, detailing her infidelity and that of her husband, her fandom kind of waned. She was always defined by the duality within her, frustrated but funny, Julia child-loving, and yet pulling apart pigs' heads. Both Julias really lived comfortably within the same human being, and her true fans were the ones who have always embraced that all along. Rest in peace, Julie Powell. And that is the news du jour. Today, I wanted to leave you guys with the quote, "Fools look to tomorrow, wise men use tonight." If you enjoyed this episode, please consider becoming a patron of our podcast. For $7.99 a month, you can unlock tons of perks like breaking news text messages so that you're never out of the loop. Tons of bonus episodes are already up there ready for you to binge, and a discussion board full of networking opportunities and much more. Go to www.patreon.com/sugarfree media today to become a patron. This is the best way to support our show. Our patrons make News du Jour possible. But a couple other ways to support our podcast are rate and review on whatever podcast platform you use to listen, share on your social media, you have influence, tell your friends, family, and colleagues that you love News du Jour and why you listen. You can also follow us on social media under sugarfreemedia.co on Instagram, just sugarfreemedia, all one word, on TikTok, and sugarfree_media on Twitter. We also have a weekend newsletter called Dreamers Digest that's full of dreamy content recommendations for your weekend and a life update from yours truly. Sign up today on our website, www.sugarfreemedia.co. Our music is by Joey Lavoie and Nicholas Foster. Our cover art is by Hannah Pierce Photography. Our Sugar Free Media logo is by Catherine Jezik Designs. Any twinkling or little footsteps you might hear in the background are by my dog, Rhett. He's a rescue pup and always records with me. We appreciate you listening and look forward to telling you about the news again next time on News du Jour.
Broadcasting from Oklahoma.